Hi everyone, welcome back to art. This week we're going to move on to the next step of our Bubble People project. Last week we learned about the artist Keith Haring and we learned how to make a bubble person drawing and how to make it look like that bubble person was doing a movement. This week we're going to be drawing a bubble person on a new piece of paper. We're going to make sure they're showing a movement and we're going to be coloring that bubble person in. So I'm going to show you those steps now. For this project, we're using a new piece of paper. Last week you could do it on a whiteboard. This week it needs to be on paper. If you received some construction paper when you came to pick up supplies from your teacher, you can use one piece from there. Don't use more than one piece though, because the rest of the pieces are for our next projects. So I'm going to use this one. You can turn your paper either way, but try to make it the way that will best fit your pose. So if your person is doing a pose where they're stretching out their arms really long, or maybe they're laying sideways, then you might want your paper horizontal or sideways. If your person's going to be tall or jumping, then you might want your paper vertical. All right, I think for this time, I'm going to draw a person jumping up like this person is to shoot a basketball. So I am looking at this when I make my bubble person just like I did last week. I'm starting first by making a stick person drawing. Remember last week where we drew the head and then we added the stick person. I'm going to do that now and then I'll show you when I'm done. All right, I just finished my stick person. I drew it lightly because I knew I'm going to have to erase it after I draw the bubble person. So here I drew the head. I looked at it and I noticed the body was kind of slanted. I drew the arms using 1, 2 parts, 1, 2 parts, and the legs using 1, 2 parts. I added a basketball in the hand of my person because I thought that might be necessary for you to see what the person is doing. I might also add a basketball hoop later. You can choose if you want to add objects into your drawing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw around that stick to show my bubble person. I want this stick to turn into a bubble. I'm going to use a black marker for this step. If you think you might make a mistake, you can use pencil first so that you can erase it. I want to use the black marker so it's easier for you to see on camera. And I'm going to take my time, so hopefully I don't make too many mistakes. All right, I just finished tracing around that stick person with my black marker to show a bubble person. I also added this basketball hoop. The next step is for me to erase that pencil line or that stick line in the middle of my person. All right, the next step, I forgot to draw the ground. A ground line is important so I can see, is my person standing on the ground? Is he jumping off the ground? You won't know unless you see the ground. So the next step is to add a ground line. All right, I drew my ground line way down here so it looks like my person is jumping off the ground. Now here's one thing that we did not do last week that I want you to do this week. In Keith Haring's drawings of bubble people, he has some black lines that are going around the person to kind of show which way they're moving. So the people that were dancing, going back and forth, had black lines on the sides of their arms and their body. I want to show my person is moving upwards because they're jumping, so I'm going to add some black lines underneath to show that they are jumping like this. There we go. That kind of helps to show the movement because they're moving in those directions the lines are showing. All right, the last step for today is to color in your bubble person and the ground. That's it. Next week we're going to be doing something to the background, but for today we're just going to finish by coloring in your bubble person and the ground. You can use whatever you want to color these in. I'm choosing to use crayons to color in my bubble person and the ground. And you can make your bubble person any color you want. If you choose to, you could have it be more than one color. I'm just choosing one because I want the focus to be on the movement of the person, not the color. So I'm just going to color mine with one. All right, I finished coloring in my bubble person. I colored in the objects too and the ground. What I don't want you to color in is the background or the sky behind your person, because we're going to do something with that next week, and that'll be our last step of this project. In a second, I'm going to show you how to submit this on Schoology so that I can see it and give it a grade. But real fast, I want to tell you the steps one last time. So you're starting with a new piece of paper. You're going to use a pencil and draw a stick person doing a movement. It can be any movement that you pick, but make sure they're moving and not just sitting still. Then step 2 is to trace around your stick person with a line that will turn your person into a bubble person. You can use a black marker like I did, or if you don't have markers, a black crayon, a black colored pencil, or a dark colored pen is fine too. Then, after you have your bubble person, if you want to add an object that they're holding or something around them, that's fine. Add a ground line so we know where the ground is. I drew my person off the ground, but if they are doing something where they're touching the ground, make sure the ground line is touching their foot or behind their foot. And then we added black lines to show what direction the person was moving. Since my person is jumping up on an angle, I drew lines that were going up on an angle. The last step was to color in your person, any objects, and the ground, but don't color in the background or the sky. Leave that blank for next week. Then you need to submit a photo or a video of it to me on Schoology so I can give you a grade for this week. All right, I finished my drawing, so now I'm ready to submit it on Schoology. Remember, if you don't submit your artwork on Schoology, then I can't grade it, and I'm grading what you do every week. So I already watched this video about what to do. I read through the steps to make sure I did all of them, and I read through this rubric so I could see how I wanted to be graded. I want to make sure I get the highest grade I can, so I made sure I did all of these things so I get 2 points instead of 1 point for everything. Now I'm ready to submit. So I'm scrolling back to the top. I'm going to click Submit Assignment over here on the right. And then a box pops up and I have 2 choices for what I can do to submit my artwork. I can either upload a photo that I already took, or I can upload a video, record a video showing my artwork. If you want to upload a photo, you would have had to already taken a photo and put it, save it to your computer. Or if you're using the Schoology app on a phone or tablet, you could take a photo with your phone or tablet of your artwork first. Then you're going to click the button that says File, because you want to upload a file. Then you're going to click the photo that you want and select Open. Then your photo's there and you could click Submit. But if you did not already take a photo, then you could just send me a video. To take a video, you click the microphone, then you click Audio and Video. Here comes the video. You hit Start Recording, and then hold up your artwork so I can see the whole thing. If you want to say hi, you can. Then hit Stop Recording. Wait for it to upload. Then hit Insert Recording, and you should see it right there. Then you can click Submit and make sure it shows up on the right side. There it is. So you are all set for this week.